My wife and I are going today to Gainesville, Georgia, to a retirement community called Lanier Village to visit.
Not for ourselves.
No, we're not moving there. We're going to visit her grandmother who's living there, and we haven't seen her since the first COVID lockdown. But now that we're fully vaxxed and we've had COVID, and she's fully vaxxed, we're taking masks. We are going to go visit her this afternoon. It's going to take about 3.5 hours to get down there, plus a little charging each way. So we're going to go. Now I've got a second GoPro that I hope is angled right to get the view out the window and the screen and us driving. We'll see how it goes. I've also got the directions in. I've got Waze for traffic, and I've got the trip computer reset to 0, which I have never remembered to do in the Tesla before now. So we're good to go. Let's go. Okay, here we are, ready to go. Got the directions in. I'm on a street at the end of our neighborhood. I'm going to show you the trip computer. We've got the location programmed into the nav. We're starting in Charlotte. We're going down Interstate 85 until the turnoff to go up to Gainesville, Georgia. It looks like it wants us to charge in Fairplay, South Carolina, which is where they installed a new V3 Supercharger last year, both going and then coming back. Don't think we can make it to Greenville coming back. The car doesn't think that. So that's the route, and here we go. Here we are at the Fairplay, South Carolina Supercharger, and it's very interesting the way these are oriented. Rather than being flat against the back of the parking stalls, they're perpendicular for some reason. Let's see how fast we're charging. We got here with about 29%, a little under 30, and we're ramping up already at around 218, 210. What I'm going to do next is add a stop. If I can remember how to do that. Let's see. We're going to add stop, and we're going to add home, and we're going to reorder, edit trip, and put home there. And then let's see how long it says we need to charge. Still says 8 minutes, so I don't think it's calculating correctly. So there, it just recalculated, and now it says 4 minutes. Interesting. It wants us to charge in Georgia before we come back, and then again in Fairplay. So I know from a better route planner that we need to charge for 25 minutes here, so we'll do that. So my wife pointed out there are actually more Teslas charging. I don't know if you can tell, there are 4 Teslas charging than there are cars at the gas pump. Although one just pulled up, and then one motorcycle just pulled off. So pretty neat. Also a little charge point charger over there that I didn't notice before. All right, we just left the charger in Fairplay, South Carolina, and our lunch stop, and not 15 minutes down the road we crossed into Georgia and picked up a Georgia state map from the visitor center. Our collection is growing, and we only have about an hour or so before we get to Gainesville, so we're going to head on down the road. So we visited Robin's grandmother, and now we're heading home from Lanier Village in Gainesville, Georgia, back to Charlotte, North Carolina. And when we charged at the Supercharger in Fairplay on the way down here, I charged enough that it said on the way back, I added waypoints for here and home, that we could make it to the Greenville Supercharger. But now it wants us to stop in Fairplay again on the way back with 29% battery. So I think we can make it to Greenville. Do you feel like living dangerously?
You're asking me or the studio audience?
I'm asking my lovely wife.
Sure, we can go to Greenville.
All right, let's do it. Well, we didn't really get anything at the outlet mall except a little bit of charge. There are some 4 level 2 charge point chargers here. No cost, so we got about 10% energy while we walked all the way around the Tanger outlet malls in Georgia. Now we're heading back. We'll be able to make it to Greenville Supercharger to charge and then on home to Charlotte. So far, it's been a good trip. Go ramping up 120, 134, 133. Looks like we need to charge here for 15 minutes to get home. We're pulling decent power at 17%, now 18%. So an update, shortly after I turned off the camera last time, it jumped up to around 144 kilowatts and stayed there for several minutes. So we jumped up in charge, and it's finally dropped below 140 again to 135. But we were making great time charging. So I'm very impressed. We must have had a very warm battery. All right. It's not very well lit, but we're at the North Carolina Welcome Center, almost back to Charlotte, and the Welcome Center closed at 5, but they very kindly put a media rack in front of the locked door. So we got a 2021-22 North Carolina state map and a North Carolina visitor's guide. Check it out. Pretty cool. Now let's head on home. This ends the trip.